Hello, everyone. How are we doing today? For those of you who do not know me, my name is Casey Reese, and I am located here in Springfield, Missouri at the Wonders of Wildlife National Museum and Aquarium. Thank you for joining us on our Facebook Live today. So for those of you who weren't with us last month, we are with Mission Conservation. Last month's mission was about celebrating public lands, but this month we have an all-new mission, and it is about bat awareness. How fun is that? So in the comments, let's write down or comment what you know about bats, or if you have any bats in your area, let me know what kind you have. So to get started to play our mission for the Bat Awareness Mission, you go to www.wondersofwildlife.org/mission-conservation, and that will take you to the Wonders of Wildlife Mission Conservation website. So over here on the right, you can see this blue box that says get the app. That is to download the Agents of Discovery app, and that is where you will find Mission Conservation's Bat Awareness Mission. So in order to play, you need to scroll down and you see another blue box that says print images. So that box there will allow you to download or print our triggers, and that allows you to either play with your phone on your computer, or you can get outside, move them around, and have a really fun time outside playing the mission. So underneath schedule of mission and activities, you will actually be able to also do our activity guides that go with each mission. So this month, you can click on our Unlock the Activity Guide, and you can find really fun ways to get involved. You can find a really awesome way to do a craft, and then you can have an outdoor activity. And this month it's about echolocation. So you will be able to get involved outdoors and indoors, so it's not limited to anyone. So Kendra is going to show us how to play a mission. Kendra.
Hi, everybody. I'm super excited to be here today. I am going to be showing you how to play through one of the awesome missions that Wonders of Wildlife has set up for mission conservation. So what's really exciting is our topic last month was the public lands. And right now we are able to showcase a little bit of what that mission is like. So I am just getting this started here. There we go. Okay, so you should all be able to see my phone screen. Right now you should see a mission that says Mission Conservation, Celebrating Public Lands. I'm gonna go ahead and click play on this mission. And here we have okay, 1 second. There we go. So you can see our lovely loading screen here with the Wonders of Wildlife National Museum and Aquarium background. And here we have Agent Peregrine Falcon welcoming us to this mission. So I'm going to go ahead and tap to continue. And what comes up now are all of these little markers. Now, each of these represents a different challenge that you can play to learn a little something about public lands. Down the bottom here, I'm going to click on this one. We're just going to wait a second for that to load.
So while we are waiting for it to load, we have gotten a response in our comments. Kelly Reynolds, hello, how are you today? She says that they have Mexican free-tailed bats wherever she's located. Where is that at, Kelly?
Okay. So now what you guys should be seeing here is actually my at-home office. So I'm working from home right now, and I got a little notification here that says, be on the lookout for Agent Acorn Woodpecker. So I'm scrolling through this list of image triggers that I got from the Mission Conservation website. Casey showed us there was that blue box you can click to access the triggers, and I have found the woodpecker one. So I'm just going to scan this here. Nice work, you found Agent Acorn Woodpecker. So what pops up next is going to be a fun little game I can play. Did you know that there are public lands that reach across the entire country, all the way from Florida to Washington? I'm going to close it here. So how many acres of land do you think are located in the United States that are for public use? I'm going to guess 640 million acres. Let's see, I got it right. So the Bureau of Land Management oversees 245 million acres of land alone. So that's lots and lots of land. And as you can see, I got my challenge right on the first try. So I'm going to earn 3 Bs and I'm going to hit close. And there we go. So I've completed the first challenge now. And all the rest of these are fun little interactive games that you can play. And we hope that you guys have lots of fun checking out this mission and the other missions that are available on the Wonders of Wildlife website. And I'm going to turn it back over to you, Casey.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kendra. It's, as you can see, it's a really awesome and fun way for you to get involved and to learn a lot of really awesome facts. So not only that, but you guys also will get to earn really cool things like Snapchat filters and even badges each mission you complete. So the more Bs you win, the more badges you earn. So work to get all of those Bs, and it's a lot of fun to do that. So as you can see, Kendra was playing from her office at home, but like I mentioned before, you don't have to just stay at home. You can go outside and be outside in this beautiful fall weather and get involved and learn a little bit about bats. So Kelly Reynolds, she just commented back saying that she is from Houston. So they have the Mexican free-tailed bats in Houston. Awesome. Great to know, Kelly. Thank you. So I am going to pass this over to Marc LeFebre. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I tried. I practiced so hard. So Marc, how are you today?
I'm just fine, thank you. And I pronounce it LeFebre, but I'm used to people mispronouncing it, so no problem at all. Okay, so I am going to first of all share my screen. And I need to move a few windows around so you all can see the 3 windows I want to share. So bear with me just a moment.
While we're waiting, Marc, where are you from?
I am in Austin, Texas.
Oh, really cool. And you are with Project Wild. Can you
That's
tell us
right.
a little bit about that?
Yes, I sure can. And hold on just a sec while I move my screen here. Let me try this. I'm using Zoom controls, and this is a constant challenge that we work on, educators work on in working with students, is how to get everything visible. Okay, yes, so I hope, and you can tell me if you can see the 3 windows on the shared screen. Do you see 3 windows?
I see him. Marc.
Okay, great. Okay. All right. And so, yes, Casey, you had asked about Project Wild. Project Wild is an environmental education program that was started back in the early 1980s by fish and wildlife agencies in the United States. And our job at Project Wild is to make environmental education available in schools and after school settings, out of school settings. We work with teachers and non-formal educators, homeschoolers, parents, and I'll tell you more about that. Over on the right side of the screen, you see a picture of the activity we're going to do today. This is an adaptation of one of those Project Wild activities called the Great Migration Challenge. And in this version, we're going to speak specifically about bats. But backing up just a bit first, more about what Project Wild is. Most people who participate in Project Wild, it usually starts with the educator. And it's, like I said, teachers or non-formal educators or even parents. And those educators usually go to a workshop with other educators, and they spend a day with an activity facilitator or a Project Wild facilitator practicing how to do these activities. And then they eventually take it to their students. And it could be pre-kindergarten through 12th grade students or college students. And to learn about, for those educators out there, if you're interested in learning about how you can get involved in a training workshop, if you go to www.projectwild.org, you'll see a link for Get Training, and then you can find out who in your state is the Project Wild coordinator. There are 4 main books associated with the Project Wild program. So we have the Project Wild K through 12 Curriculum and Activity Guide. We have the Aquatic Wild Guide, focusing on aquatic species and habitats. Our Growing Up Wild program is early childhood, so pre-K up to 1st or 2nd grade. And then we have Flying Wild, which focuses on migratory birds in North America. This page is a picture of what you'll see if you go to projectwild.org and then you look for a page within the website that is titled Wild About Bats. So projectwild.org is actually part of a large organization, the Association of Fish and Wildlife Agencies, or AFWA. And so you can see that at the top of the page, the Association of Fish and Wildlife Agencies. And we are the program that administers Project Wild. And so on our Project Wild website, part of that larger AFWA website, you'll find this page, Wild About Bats. And if you do a internet search on Project Wild, Wild About Bats, it will take you there. You don't need to do that now to do what we're going to do today, but if you're interested in looking at other resources on bats or other wildlife, it's a good place to go. On this page, way at the bottom of the page, there's a link, and I have a little arrow here at the bottom showing where the Google slide link is, because if you do want to do the activity we're going to do today in a different time and place, and if you want to do it online with other people who maybe aren't in the same room with you, well, there's the link to help you do it. You can use the same Google slide presentation. Now, our recommendation is, if you can, print each of the slides out and take them outside, and set up each piece of paper along a course, because this activity, the Great Bat Migration Challenge, is kind of like a course, not exactly an obstacle course, or a different kind of obstacle course. And we'll get into that in a moment. But before we do, let's ask the question, why are bats important? All right, so lots of reasons, but a great big one is ecological services that bats provide. What is their role in helping provide and maintain a healthy and functioning ecosystem? So one, for example, in some places in North America, they help pollinate and they help disperse seeds. And a big one all over North America is insect control. And so this insect control ties in a lot of ways with other benefits, like economic benefits, as does seed dispersal and pollination. But an interesting fact or two I wanted to point out is first with migration. So at the top of the slide here on the right, there's a migration map, and you can see that what I did is I looked at a bat also in my area, which, like Kelly Reynolds in Houston, the Mexican free-tailed bat is one that we see a lot here. And this yellow area in the map gives you an idea of where they move in and out of. And so Mexican free-tailed bats are a species that migrates as a strategy to help them get through the winter, to go south, as Kelly says, to help eat all those dang mosquitoes. Sorry, mosquitoes. And then, yeah, back north, in the summer, where they will have more territory, more access to mosquitoes and other insects, many other flying insects. And so another interesting fact is that a group of Mexican free-tailed bats in a place in Texas known as Bracken Cave, which is north of San Antonio, there's about 20 million of those Mexican free-tailed bats. And in a day, they may eat 200, or I should say a night, they may eat about 220 tons of insects. Now, to get an idea of what 220 tons of insects might look like in terms of weight, how many elephants do you suppose that would be? Okay, here's the dramatic pause. What do you think? An elephant? 2 elephants? 3 elephants? Well, how about 55 elephants in one night? so now Mexican free-tailed bats don't actually eat elephants, but if you broke up all those elephants into fine insects and perhaps other insects as well, that's a lot of insects. That's a lot of insect control for agriculture and for keeping people and other wildlife healthy. Imagine without the Mexican free-tailed bat, what it might be like for me in Austin, Texas. Oh, thank you. Now we'll spend a minute and think about some of the dangers that bats, including Mexican free-tailed bats, what do they face? And they might face these dangers in their migration, or they might face them at times when they're not migrating. But one of those is collisions. Okay, collisions with, it could be collisions, well, in the picture here we have wind turbines. That's a big concern with bats who might collide with them or get so close that the sudden pressure change in the air kills them. Another big one is habitat loss. You know, if we convert wild lands into places such as housing developments or shopping malls or roads, or we harvest too much of the natural resources in an area that take away the food, water, shelter, and the space that bats need, that's a major danger to bats. You have probably heard much about disease, wildlife diseases, and like white nose syndrome, for example. Huge concern for bats in North America. So the bats in North America are really experiencing white nose syndrome in recent times, and as we've heard, it's really decimating many bat populations, and it may be some time before we start to see those populations rebound. How about predation? You know, predation by animals that hunt bats, for example, house cats or the domestic cat, right? Domestic cats are known, we hear about them preying on birds, wild birds. It's true also for bats. And then another one is climate change. How will a changing climate affect bat habitat as in some areas get drier or have more extreme weather, at times extreme precipitation or drought, extreme winds, extreme cold, extreme heat. Okay, so this is a concern as bats and many other wildlife species will need to adapt. All right, so are you ready for the Great Bat Migration Challenge? Now we might not make it all the way through and I may have to jump ahead, but now I'm looking at the Google slide presentation that's linked on that web page I showed you earlier, and you can just look at the shared screen to play along and I'll read it. At the top left of my screen, I have an electronic die that is a random number generator courtesy of Google. And if you do a Google search on roll a die or random number generator, you can pull one up too. You won't need to right now because I'm going to roll this for us. Or if you have a 6-sided die handy, that works too. So our migration challenge is just beginning. Will we reach our destination? Let's find out. I'm going to roll the die and move ahead that number. So my first roll is a 1. And as you can see on the right side of my screen, I intentionally left the presentation in this view to where you can see all the tiles on the left, and that can help you count ahead more easily. You can use it like a game board. Okay, so I'm going to click one space ahead. Bad news. You land by a polluted marsh and become sick by the bugs you eat. Sit down and count to 30, groan 10 times, and move back 1 station. Okay, if you're already sitting down, good for you. But now it's time to groan. Groan with me. And we'll count to 30 as we're groaning. Oh, that polluted water, don't feel so good. Well, I'm not going to move back one station. That would put me right back at the beginning. I'm going to roll ahead because we're short on time. I'm going to go ahead to 2 spaces here. Good news. Food is plentiful. Mosquitoes recently hatched at Farmer's Pond. Smack your mouth 10 times and move ahead 5 stations. Ready? Okay, 5 stations ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You find a bat house that someone has built for shelter. Take a snooze for 30 seconds and move ahead 1 station. Okay, everyone, close your eyes, take a snooze, 30 seconds, here we go. 28, 29, and 30. Okay, I counted fast. Move ahead 1 station. It's raining, it's pouring, and you don't want to fly in this rainstorm. Wrap your wings around yourself while you wait for the storm to stop. Count by 50s, count to 50 by 10s, roll the die and move ahead. Okay, so wrap your wings around you. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Roll the die. Okay, 2 spaces ahead. A pet catches you and eats you. Sorry, the game is over for you. Die dramatically before you leave the game. Okay, well, let's go on to the next one and see where it gets us because we have a bit more time. Now, if we didn't die, there's a few slides in here that would cause you as the migrating bat to die, but in many cases, as you play the game, you'll make it through. Okay, so here we go. Thump, you just flew into a glass window of a building. Sit down, hold your head and count to 35 by 5s. Then roll the die and move ahead that number of stations. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Ouch. Die roll. 6 stations ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You accidentally get into someone's house. The people are panicking and running around yelling and waving their arms. You panic and fly around in circles. Finally, they calm down and open a door for you, and you leave the room. You relax and find your way out. Move ahead 2 stations. You find a bridge over a stream with lots of narrow openings and beams for roosting. This is a perfect place for you to have your babies. Squeak with excitement. Squeak! You have successfully migrated to your spring home. Congratulations. And that is the Great Bat Migration Challenge. And this activity, we simulated bat migration, and it also gave us some ideas on how we can help bats, like putting up a bat house, or planting native vegetation, such as flowering plants and trees that bats might use to roost in. We can help slow the spread of white nose syndrome and other diseases. One way to do that is to protect the hibernacula, that is the spaces where some bats hibernate. So bats that don't migrate in North America, they would hibernate. They would spend the winter in a hibernacula like a cave. And to protect those, we can stay out of them and watch for signs when we know there's bat colonies in there, not to go in there and disturb them. And if we do go in, we can make sure we sanitize our shoes and clothing so as not to spread white nose syndrome. And number 5, help people understand the value of bats. All right, on my last slide here, I have my email if anyone needs to contact me. And I wanted to put a quick plug in for responsible recreation. So if you do get to do this activity outside, plan ahead. If you're going to a park, get your park pass ahead of time. Try to stay close to home when you recreate or you go outside for learning, and adhere to the best practices for avoiding COVID-19. And to learn more about responsible recreation, you can run a search on #responsible recreation. And I also want to thank everyone involved with Bat Week throughout October, to learn and celebrate about bats. And it's been a pleasure to be part of it. Thank you. And I am going to stop my share, and then I'm going to turn it over to Casey.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mark, for sharing. That game was so much fun. If you couldn't see me on the sidelines, I was doing everything with you. I was flying out of the house. I did everything. So thank you again.
Thank you.
So just to wrap up, we just wanted to say thank you all for coming. This month is very important to spread the awareness of bats. So we just wanted to say thank you so much for coming and stopping in. And if you guys do want to play that mission, just log on to our website again at www.wondersofwildlife.org/mission-conservation and download that Agents of Discovery app. You guys will be able to find that bat awareness, the mission on the Agents of Discovery app. So not only that, but make sure that you guys log in with us again next week. We will be on at 1:30 Central Time. Actually, I believe we're on at 12:30 this time, 12:30 Central Time next week. So we will see you then, and make sure you guys log in and watch us then. Thank you.